EA and DICE have just announced, well actually haven't just announced, they announced it last night, but I feel for the purpose of the video I may as well say just. EA and DICE have just announced that Battlefield 2042 has been pushed back a month pretty much. And a lot of people are saying, you know what, if it isn't ready, it's a good thing. And I actually think it's a bigger and better good thing, mainly because EA in 2012 did something similar in a sense that they released a game that just was not ready for release. It wasn't polished enough, and ultimately it released to a lot of bugs and a lot of negative feedback. EA, I think, in this situation will have learned their lesson after that, and honestly I'll probably listen to the developers of these games and say, you know what, it's not getting released, just don't release it if it's not ready. And ultimately I think EA don't want to take another hit like they did in 2012. Obviously I'm sure a lot of people know the game I'm talking about, Medal of Honor Warfighter. It released heavily unfinished and critics did not like it, and there's a lot of talk that there's actually a finished and longer version of that game in EA's vault somewhere, but we'll never see it. But yeah, realistically, Battlefield 2042 getting pushed back really does make a lot of sense, because it gives that extra month for the developers to get in and iron out the whole situation, iron out what needs to be fixed, you know, clean up this, clean up that. And really it makes a lot of sense at the same time, because I was saying to a friend of mine that for the longest time I just thought that this game wasn't finished because EA was really holding back a lot of stuff. If you look at Gamescom for instance, EA normally showcased some Battlefield stuff. They didn't, and what made it even more apparent and more worrying is the fact that Activision and Halo both showed off some stuff for their upcoming FPS games. So realistically, if you're EA and you're looking at your competition, because that is really the competition EA and Battlefield are facing this year, Call of Duty and Halo, again it just mimics 2012 for me. So I'm glad that Battlefield is actually pushing it back a month and saying it's not ready, because that was the mistake EA made with Medal of Honor. The game was not ready to be released. It came out, the poor reviews, poor reception from the community, and ultimately had so many bugs that are riddled with it. And honestly they're still in the game to this day, because EA after December of 2012 took all the developers away and pretty much just focused on the game Battlefield. Pretty much at that point all those developers became DICE LA. So yeah, I'm also going to make another point that I'm going to make in another video, so I'm not going to tell you what the name of the video is, but I'm just going to make it clear. Battlefield traditionally in the past has had help from DICE LA, who have went in and pretty much cleaned up the game if there's been community feedback, if the game isn't ready. Example of this is Battlefield 4. DICE LA pretty much came in and saved the game. But DICE LA isn't there anymore. Yes, they're working on Battlefield Portal, but DICE LA actually isn't there as a studio to always be helping the traditional DICE Stockholm, so they've now become their own studio Ripple Effect, and they're actually in the means of developing their own unannounced game yet. So it wouldn't be fair on that company to drop everything on their game to go and help DICE. But for the most part, DICE I think made the decision here, you know what, we're going to have to just push it back a bit and wait and see what it's going to be like. And really I think it's a smart decision on, you know, the company's part, because it does stop any real issues. If you can get the issues sorted out before the game's released, it makes a lot more sense, so it does. And EA and DICE actually brought up this little leaflet, I should say. This is pretty much what it says. I'll go quiet if you guys want to read it. But yeah, that's pretty much what they say. If you want to pause the video, whatever, you can pause the video and look at it. But for the most part, it's a good decision in my eyes. If you guys think it's a good decision or bad decision, please tell me why. If you guys are a fan of, you know, Battlefield, I'll be posting a lot of 2042 stuff on the channel as soon as I can get my hands on it. There was no beta stuff yet. The beta will more likely be pushed back, so it will, because of obviously this. But for the most part, you never know. They could spring a beta on us tomorrow. We're still waiting. But anyway, I've been Recursive, and you have a nice day as always. If you like what you see here and you want some more, please hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, have a nice day. Adios.